Hey, what's up guys? My name is True UnderDawg, and I make fighting game videos. These can range from character guides to combat tutorials and so on. I also do the occasional reaction video and play online every now and then. But today, I'll be pointing out everything that's wrong with Gaming Sin's Mortal Kombat review. This whole idea originally started out as a joke, but it actually got a lot of support, so I decided to make it after all. That being said, this is all in good fun. In no way is this supposed to bash Gaming Sin's channel or the people behind it. It's just a friendly opposition that was made for comedic purposes. That also being said, I'm about to debunk this shit hard. So let's get to it.
I guess transforming into a Revenant is just as slow as downloading a porn video on a dial-up connection.
Wow, that is a 90s joke if I ever heard one. That being said, I do agree it takes a while, but at the same time, you gotta make a new body to store the souls in. And that's actually how it works, by the way. Someone clarified last time for me that the Revenants are actually evil bodies with the good souls inside of them. That's why they have all the memories, but they act evil. It's like putting something good inside a weapon made for bad. Make sense? It kinda does.
Ha ha ha. Raiden Ex Machina. Man, Raiden out of nowhere!
To be fair, Raiden can teleport, and at the same time, this reinforces my whole Johnny Cage was made to kill gods argument. Raiden must have sensed that Johnny Cage was going to be an evil Revenant and was like, fuck no, that guy kills gods. Did you see him take down Shinnok? He will rip my ass in half. I gotta stop this shit now.
Speaking of Ex Machinas, Quan Chi's fortress is in the Netherrealm in this timeline. Aren't Raiden's powers weak in other realms, especially the Netherrealm? How's he able to perform this spell? Push Johnny Cage, bury Liu Kang.
That's just Ed Boon, to be honest. Ed Boon hates Liu Kang for some reason. He's wanted that guy dead since Mortal Kombat 2. The fans love him, so he keeps him around, but man, he's trying to bury him. He has died multiple times. Whereas Johnny Cage, almost always being a joke character until recently, hasn't died once. Pretty shocking stuff, but that's kind of how it works out, right?
This will easily go down as one of the most awful segments in Mortal Kombat history. And that's saying something. They have essentially made Quan Chi, one of the most powerful sorcerers in all of Mortal Kombat, into a little bitch. I mean, I get it, Sonya is an MKOG, but this is embarrassing, man. And to top it all off,
I love this part so much. Me and my friends were talking about this part for weeks. It's so funny.
yeah, absolutely embarrassing.
You have ruined the source of his sorcery!
Okay, so let's clarify a couple of things. First off, when has Quan Chi ever been shown to be really powerful? Name one character in Mortal Kombat that he's actually defeated that's canon. He's more of a puppeteer who pulls the strings from behind the set. He doesn't really engage anybody directly. He was part of the Deadly Alliance, yes, but if you watch every single cutscene, what does he do? He lets Shang Tsung do all the physical work while he waits in the back and throws fireballs from a distance while the good guy's back is turned the other way. He's a coward. He always has been. He's the cliche evil guy who lets his henchmen do all the work. He even summons enemies to fight for him. Plus, didn't you complain earlier that Sonya Blade was a damsel in distress? And now that she's holding her own, you're complaining about it? Come on, what's up here? Once again, I'm getting mixed signals here.
The others are restored to the living. By coupling Quan Chi's dark magics to my own, I was able to restore their souls.
You want to know who could have also had their souls restored? Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Jade, Smoke, Cabal, Nightwolf. Are you getting annoyed yet? Good, because I'm annoyed that you killed them off.
You do realize that none of their Revenant bodies are nearby. You have to turn the evil body good since their soul is inside of it. That's how it works. That has been explained by the cutscenes. Now, it wasn't told to you directly because the writers don't think you're an idiot. They understand that you can imply some things without directly stating it. And while I do agree that it would have been nice to have our favorite characters restored back to good guys, think about what that means. It means no bad guys, and the story ends right here. Come on, man, it's short enough.
You seem to know this Kano intimately.
Not the word I'd use, but yes. I chased him for years until he escaped to Outworld after Shinnok's invasion.
So, Kano escaped to Outworld after the Netherrealm invasion, yet he somehow recovered Shinnok's amulet, which is in Earthrealm. Ugh, my brain cannot handle this nonsense.
Alrighty, I stated this multiple times in the previous video, and I will state it as many times as I need to, because he is going to keep bringing it up. Read the Mortal Kombat X comic books, guys. They are a really enjoyable experience, and they are free on YouTube.
Why would he return now?
You know, that's a good question, Kenshi. Even if Kano has crucial intel, who's to say Sonya won't straight up murder his ass, like she almost did in this very sequence? That is unfitting for a cunning warrior.
That is a good point. I have no idea why Kano is in Earthrealm right now, probably to make a quick buck. That being said, every Mortal Kombat game needs to have a Sonya versus Kano fight. so this has to happen. The fans demand it.
Honestly, if you have tech like this, why would you ever reveal yourself? Why even infiltrate this compound if you were just gonna try to leave? And he shows up alone? Man, Kano's plan is making less sense by the second.
Well, they did show you how his disguise is wearing off. Sonya already saw him, so he thought, you know what, I'm just gonna come clean. And as for having no backup, that is a bit weird, but keep in mind that he's betrayed everybody he works with, so chances are he doesn't have any backup anymore. Plus, you know, the whole Sonya versus Kano thing has to happen. Because ever since the MK movie, it has to keep happening in every single game, or I will be salty.
Hello, love. Been a while.
I am severely disappointed that Kano didn't say, "Hello, baby. Did you miss me?"
I share in your disappointment, my good sir.
No, I disagree with this. Kano is not capable of being strangled. This is how they greet each other in Australia.
Holy shit. And I thought I was offensive earlier when I made fun of Australians, but this guy just one-upped me.
Gave us the details on Melina's location. She has the amulet, but she's got a lot of protection.
And once we get to the jungle, we will prove this to be incorrect.
That's a fair statement. How do they know that she has any protection? I mean, do they have a scout or something like that?
More lazy writing.
Wait, so flashbacks are lazy writing now? Even though you always complain about no exposition, you continue to complain about flashbacks that help to flush things out? I am so confused by your logic, sir.
Ugh, one of the absolute worst alternate costumes ever made. It's almost as bad as... Yeah, let's try to forget about that.
You think that's one of the worst costumes ever made? Ho ho ho, you don't play very many fighting games, my good sir. Either that, or your memory is very piss poor.
Well, look at what we have here. Baraka, yet another fully functional character that was cut from the game. Expect him in Combat Pack number 2, coming whenever.
Thanks a lot, WB.
Alrighty, I covered this in the last video, but I'll go ahead and reiterate it a second time. These characters you fight in the story mode who are non-playable are not fully functional. They have no X-rays, no fatalities, no brutalities, no variations, no intro dialogues, no victory animations, and so on. And to top it all off, every animation is imported from MK9 and just touched up slightly. These characters are not playable. And furthermore, Baraka did not end up in Combat Pack 2. Instead, we got Alien Baraka. So you're kinda half right on that one. That being said, he won't play like Baraka, so you're kinda still wrong.
We interrupt this Mortal Kombat game to bring you a segment of Gladiator.
Wait, how is that a sin? Who here doesn't love them some Gladiator moments?
And Baraka died just as he lived. A jobber.
I wasn't really shocked that Baraka died, because he is a weak character. I'm just surprised that NetherRealm had the balls to actually kill a character in story mode. That being said, D'Vorah killing him is not a sin. She is obviously much stronger than Baraka. If you read the comics, that bitch has been ripped in half and survived.
More taunting by WB and NetherRealm. They're like, hey players, you know Rain, this cool character? Yeah, you can fight him a couple times in story mode, but you can't play as him. And we're not going to make him playable unless you start begging for him.
I refer you all back to my previous statement. Rain is not fully playable.
Damn, scene does not contain any Tanya Torkin.
You, sir, are a perverted and horny man. That being said, I would have also enjoyed some twerking, but that does not make it a sin, just because you have a dirty mind.
I know you said you weren't friends, but you're not killing them.
There is literally no reason for Cassie to stop D'Vorah from killing Tanya and Rain. Literally none!
That's very true. However, you have to understand why. D'Vorah already kills multiple characters in this story mode. If she killed them also, she'd be the only character killing anybody, and they couldn't really have that. It'd be very one-sided. D'Vorah is already really strong as far as the story's concerned. She doesn't need to add any more bodies to her kill count.
I have a quick question for you, Melina. How do you expect to rule Outworld when you can't even handle a bunch of bees?
Let he who has been swarmed by bees before cast judgment. I don't think you have, and neither have I, but I can use my imagination and guess that it's quite painful and agonizing. I mean, come on, have you played BioShock? Even the big daddies get fucked up by bees. And they're encased in a giant metal diving suit. Those fuckers get inside every little nook and cranny. So yeah, imagine that.
Story mode only fatality.
I agree with you there. That would be a awesome fatality to have.
And come to think of it, Melina has those massive jaws. Why didn't she just chomp off D'Vorah's face and take her with her? Hashtag logic.
Honestly, that's not the only problem here. Melina can also teleport, so she has many ways to escape this situation, but she just doesn't. Mortal Kombat X is kinda like Game of Thrones in that sense. It's killing off main characters just for shock value.
And that's 2 prominent Mortal Kombat characters, dead, within a matter of 10 minutes. My read meter's detecting some Devora favoritism. Not that that's a bad thing for me personally, but it's still sinful as shit.
How the hell is Baraka a prominent character? I can understand Melina, but she wasn't even prominent until this game. Even in Mortal Kombat 9, she's just a katana clone. That's her entire origin. At least here she had some sort of plot relevance. But still, Baraka's just a jobber. You can't really count him.
Well, thanks for that. I know I'll never eat again.
Anorexia.
Well, I guess anorexia does qualify as vanity, which is a sin, so yeah, kudos.
You know, this power that Kotal Khan possesses is pretty incredible. It will never be used again.
I was thinking the exact goddamn thing when I saw this. It makes no sense whatsoever. How is he doing that? Plus, they're holding the amulet. Couldn't Cassie just fire it at his face? She clearly has her hands on it.
The Reiko Accords require...
Oh, for crying out loud, will you please shut the hell up about Reiko?
Sir, need I remind you, you cannot charge them for the same sin twice. That is double jeopardy, and it's unfair.
They never suspected one of their own to be a disciple of our Lord.
This one lives to serve Shinnok.
Unsurprising plot twist is unsurprising. Did you guys forget that Devora turned on Melina earlier?
This one serves Melina no longer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
It is actually explained in the comics why Devora hates Melina so much. Melina treated her like trash. That being said, the comics have yet to explain why she's working for Quan Chi and Shinnok. I'm still waiting on that one.
Well, this game has officially reached metal status. Revenants riding on hell rams. Kick fucking ass. -1 sin.
Those aren't just hell rams. Those are like hell rams had sex with hell horses. They're some sort of hybrid. Still, thank you for taking the sin away.
But we have to immediately put that sin back in because derp, Katana, Kung Lao, Liu Kang. Remember these main characters from Mortal Kombat? Yeah, they're gonna play second fiddle in this game.
Alright, name one game where the villains are actually the main characters when you play as the good guys. Yeah, I thought so.
He shows his face after 25 years, just as Shinnok's amulet is in play. That's not a coincidence.
That's why I need you. Your Quan Chi expertise.
Here's another sin where resurrected combatants actually retain the memories of being a revenant.
Once again, I feel like reminding people, revenants are just the good guys' souls inside of evil bodies, so of course they retain all the memories. Which honestly sounds like it must suck pretty bad.
I've trained all my life. Can fight my way out of nearly anything. But I still feel like a second-rate Cage.
Here's the thing, since Sonya and Johnny Cage are both in this game, you kinda are. If one of them were absent, you wouldn't be. Simple, ain't it?
I honestly didn't want Sonya Blade or Johnny Cage in this game. That being said, Cassie Cage is much higher up the tier list than they are, so she's actually the first-rate Cage, as far as gameplay is concerned.
Dumbass guards send down only one guy, making this inevitable escape plan much easier.
Would you prefer the good guys just stay prisoner the whole time? Okie dokie then.
More lazy writing.
Alright, you gotta start justifying this shit. You don't like flashbacks, that's fine. But you can't also complain about having no exposition. They're giving it to you right here. And how would you prefer they do it? Would you prefer it all be chronologically in order? Because that's more lazy. It's super straightforward and boring. Name one good film that doesn't have flashbacks. Oh, you can't, because the most popular films like Citizen Kane are nothing but flashbacks. You don't know what good writing is.
Yield.
Takeda's cool and all, but him beating Scorpion this easy? I don't buy it.
If you read the comics, then you would know that Takeda beat Cassie Cage and Jackie by himself when they were both on blood magic. The dude is powerful as fuck. Remember, he is Kenshi's son and raised by Scorpion. That being said, Scorpion obviously wasn't going all out. Why would he? You think he wants to kill off his second chance of a son?
Speaking of which, I am noticing a theme throughout this entire story mode. It's like, hey everybody, we got a whole new generation of fighters, and you will like them. All those old characters that you grew up loving and playing, yeah, forget about them. Their time is up. Fuck them all, they gotta go. It's time for some new blood, bitches! And all I gotta say to that is, I'll be ready when I'm fucking ready.
See, once again, people claim to miss the old characters like Jade, but online statistics show that nobody played them. So when you say that you love the old characters, you're full of shit. You just like seeing them there, but you didn't like playing them. NetherRealm purposely omitted characters that weren't popular. That's seriously what they did. Deal with it. Because the only alternative is having 50 characters in this game, and that would not be balanced. There would be a lot of clones.
Your mother was killed by Red Dragon assassins. I was the target. Suchin was the victim.
Son of a bitch! It was your fault!
No, you idiot. He just told you Red Dragon killed your mother. It's their fault.
Well, it's kind of Kinshi's fault, because they only attacked his mother because Kinshi had previously been there. Had Kinshi just stayed there, she would have been fine. But instead he left because he's a deadbeat dad, or he's going by Twilight logic, which is basically, hello sweetheart, welcome to a dangerous world that I brought you to. Okay, I'm gonna leave now, so it'll follow me, and hopefully not kill you. Oh wait, they will kill you? Oh, I fucked up, I guess.
Look at these rookies just sticking their heads out like morons.
I agree, that is definitely a sin. Plus, it's broad daylight. How are they gonna be sneaky? Only fucking Metal Gear Solid Snake can do that.
The Earthrealmers! Devora freed them!
You know, half of the conflicts in this game are due to massive assumptions and the fact that people cannot properly communicate with one another. And that, for all intents and purposes, is a sin.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree here.
Absolutely pointless QuickTime event featuring Takeda and Reptile. You know, since Takeda's a freaking telepath.
Alright, you gotta be fucking pulling my leg. You're telling me you didn't love this sequence where Takeda uses his mental telepathy to tell where Reptile is, even though Reptile's fucking invisible? You didn't find that hype as shit? Come on, you're lying.
Wait, did Aaron Black just run at Takeda with his guns? His bullet-shooting guns? Instead of, you know, pulling the trigger? Wow, you have officially made one of the most badass characters into an idiot.
He actually wasn't running at Takeda. He was trying to shoot Kung Jin in the back. Takeda responded and tripped him. Plus, need I remind you how weak guns are in the Mortal Kombat universe? Bullets do fucking no damage at all.
Hey, you want another example of inconsistent power levels? Ermac has not killed everybody in this scene.
Alrighty, he keeps on bringing this stuff up, but I want you all to imagine the alternative. Every good guy dies in this scene, and the credits roll. Does that sound like good writing? Does that sound like a satisfying ending? No? I didn't think so.
Takeda, you are a telepath. You do not need to hold people's heads to read their mind.
Oh, what? You're some sort of telepathy master? Because last time I checked, that's fictional, so there are no codes on how it works. Alright, just let them have their fun. It's a cool moment in the game.
Devora and the Earthrealmers?
She stole the amulet, then helped them escape.
She betrayed us to the Thunder God.
I already explained why this is a sin. Skip!
Once again, sinful double jeopardy.
Have you been able to determine where Devora was headed?
We think she's headed for the Sea of Blood.
Damn.
Dad?
She's coming here, to Quan Chi. There's a secret portal near the Sea of Blood. Quan Chi had it built when we were getting ready to invade Outworld.
Okay, let's just point out, they have radio reception between realms, okay? We already seen this in the last Mortal Kombat game, and this is no exception.
But earlier you complained about the whole MK Deception walkie-talkie, and now you're mad about cell phone reception? What the fuck?
Okay, I know who Serena is. Question is, do you? If not, you were probably one of those people that were like, who is this bitch? Why is she important? Well, guess what? The game will not bother to care about details, so...
Would you have preferred a flashback? Because as history shows, you would have not preferred a flashback, yet you're still complaining about no exposition. Will you fucking quit?
But why is it Quan Chi travels by conventional means?
He seems unable to fully use his magic. He's weaker than when I was in his service.
How is Quan Chi weaker when he's in the freaking Netherrealm? Hashtag Mortal Kombat logic.
Didn't she just tell you that he's weaker? Do you want them to explain it with a flashback? Because you always complain about extra exposition.
These guys don't notice Jack's obviously crouching behind this rock.
Okay, so you're obviously right there. But the reason you see him behind the rock is so that you know he's hiding there. Not so the villains can maybe see him. It's for the viewer's clarity.
Okay, let's ponder this for a minute, people. Sindel steps on Jax's hands in order to make him fall off a cliff, as if he has nerves in his metal arms in order to feel pain. Yeah, go ahead, laugh at it. I know I did.
Alrighty, this part is going to be so much fun to explain, because it shows how ignorant Gaming Sens was here. The writers are clearly trying to show you, right then and there, that Jax has feeling in his arms. How? I assume by artificial nerves, because think about it. Imagine throwing a punch if both your arms are asleep, when you have no feeling in them. Yeah, you can't. You know how your brain makes things move? with its nerve signals. You have to have them, otherwise the muscles don't move. If the muscles don't move, you can't punch. So it's not meant to be an oversight. This is obviously NetherRealm showing you that Jax has feeling in his arms, and it doesn't really matter how he does that. The point is they're showing it to you here. Because once again, when you play with him in the game, and he gets his arm broken, doesn't he scream? Doesn't he freak out when his hands get sliced off? Doesn't he scream there too? Yeah, he has artificial nerves in his arms, because otherwise he couldn't fight. If you don't believe me, sit on both your arms until they fall asleep, and then try to hit a punching bag. You will not be able to.
And speaking of Sindel, can we just mention how ridiculous the concept is of Revenant Sindel? So she went from being an evil zombie to being a different type of evil zombie? Okay.
The reason she looks different here is because she no longer has Shang Tsung inside of her body. This also explains why she's so much weaker in this game. Now remember that, because I will bring it up later on.
Quan Chi reunited me with my family. He will do the same for you.
That's a pretty dumb thing to say when his actual family is alive, aka not revenants.
Good point. Evil logic is stupid sometimes.
And Sindel, yet another clearly functional character that was obviously cut from the game. Expect her in Combat Pack number 2, whenever WB Games decides.
Once again, a very bad prediction. Sindel is not fully functional and she is not in Combat Pack 2. And once again, you are doing Sin Double Jeopardy. Not fair, my friend. Not fair. You're playing dirty.
It is possible to escape Quan Chi Katana. I can aid you, as Bihan aided me.
You became too familiar with Bihan, allowed emotion to corrupt you.
Emotion freed me.
Yep, here we go again. Another crucial plot detail just glazed over.
It's actually a different game entirely. That being said, you hate flashbacks, so there's no way to escape these sins. If they show a flashback, it's hashtag bad writing. If they don't show a flashback, it's hashtag needs more exposition. There's no winning with you.
In your weakened state, is it possible for you to release Shinnok?
Let's talk about this weakened state for a moment, shall we? Quan Chi fell off his Hell Ram. That's it! That is all that happened to him throughout this entire previous sequence, and all of a sudden he's weakened? And remind you, we're in Quan Chi's fortress, which is in the Netherrealm in this timeline. The Netherrealm, the place where he is the most powerful sorcerer. See what I mean when I said earlier they're trying to make Quan Chi into a little bitch? Yeah, insulting.
First off, Quan Chi was weaker long before he fell off that ram. That's why he was hiding behind the boulder and all sorts of crap like that. Serena explained that to you earlier. Also, Quan Chi has never been strong. Once again, name one character he's beaten that's canon who was actually strong and worth bragging about. So Quan Chi at his strongest isn't really that big of a threat, unless he summons a bunch of skeletons to fight for him, which he has done before, but he himself is not physically imposing.
Jax's arms are in his heavy weapons variation in this cutscene. However, when we start the match with Liu Kang, it's back to his wrestler variation.
Wow. That's an eye for detail right there. I gotta give you that one.
Okay, now the following sequence is one of the biggest problems story mode has. Check this out. Quan Chi is vulnerable. They have him captured. The rest of the Revenants are right there in the Netherrealm with him. D'Vorah is already on her way. Why didn't they just gather in the Netherrealm, wait for D'Vorah, ambush her, take back Shinnok's amulet, crush Quan Chi's nuts again to release all the Revenants, and then kill his ass? Bam! Game over. Or am I the only one that's making any sense here? Apparently so.
How does that make any sense? Your entire argument rests on one idea, that they know that D'Vorah is a traitor, which they obviously don't. Nobody knows that. Your entire argument is null and moot.
Advise Secretary Blake that Quan Chi is in custody. We'll be moving him to the Supermax facility at Fort Charles within the hour.
Okay, let's entertain that logic for a moment, shall we? They're gonna move a Netherrealm demon sorcerer to a human Supermax prison. Derp-a-derp.
Alright, now you laugh at that, but can you think of anywhere better? Obviously not, or you would have said it. So your sin is completely unfair. What better place to keep somebody than a maximum security prison? Because last time I checked, people don't escape from those.
General.
Master Hisashi, I hadn't received word you were coming.
I will have Quan Chi.
We have things under control. You can...
He must die.
Wow, this is literally round 2 of, hey Scorpion, don't kill this guy or else we're all gonna suffer dire consequences later on. Jeez, does this fucker not learn?
I agree with you completely. That being said, you totally stole that from Two Best Friends play. Now apologize.
A bunch of ninjas with swords are charging at fully armed special forces. Take a moment to laugh at that.
Why would I laugh at that? They were trained by Scorpion. They're the Shirai Ryu. You think they can't hold their fucking own against soldiers? What kind of ninjas would they be?
I wish you no harm, General Blade.
Says this after whipping her ass.
Yeah, that is somewhat fair. What he should have said is, no more further harm will come to you.
Let's embrace the absurdity of this scene for a moment. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Hanzo Hasashi, and Kawhi Liang are having tea together. When the fuck did Mortal Kombat turn into a dating sim? Clearly I did not get the memo.
Once again, everybody, please read the Mortal Kombat X comics. They explain why Sub-Zero and Scorpion aren't as mad at each other as they used to be. Mainly because Sub-Zero kicked Scorpion's ass, then kicked his ass again, then Scorpion kicked his ass and felt bad about it because he attacked Sub-Zero when Sub-Zero wasn't even trying to fight that time, and he was like, oh man, I'm kind of an asshole for attacking a guy who wasn't even fighting back, so I'm gonna go ahead and hear him out right now. That's kind of what's happening right now in a nutshell.
When I finally killed Sector, I discovered the Lin Kuei had not sacrificed its honor with the Cyber Initiative. We had abandoned it long before.
Wow, yet another crucial story detail just glossed over. Sector isn't exactly a pushover character, okay?
I am so tired of repeating myself, you guys. He hates flashbacks, yet he complains about lack of clarification. Once again, guys, read the comics, it explains everything about Sector. And Cyrax too, if you're interested.
Wow, Frost is in the game, and she's not a playable character. Yeah, cue the obvious Frozen jokes.
Hey, just chill out, Frost.
This is lame. This is lame. Frost is not a playable character in this game. This is lame. This is lame. She was cast aside and that's a shame.
Honestly, I really did want Frost in Combat Pack 2, but it wasn't likely. Look at her outfit. It's literally Sub-Zero's default costume, but resized to fit a girl's figure. That's literally all it is.
Define irony. Frost, a ninja with ice powers, turns out to be the most hot-headed individual in this scene.
How is that a sin? Isn't that awesome for breaking cliches? I think it is.
Well, hell has definitely frozen over now. Scorpion and Sub-Zero are bowing to each other. Wait a minute, I thought we were done with the puns.
Well, you see, you may complain about it, but fans have been wanting this shit for forever. A Sub-Zero and Scorpion team-up, motherfucker. Imagine how strong they will be. They are the new deadly alliance.
Scorpion, we can...
My name is Hanzo Hasashi!
I find it rather disturbing how this game is actively trying to prevent calling him Scorpion. It's like, hey Scorpion, everything that made you cool? Yep, just totally forget about it. New generation, you don't matter anymore.
How is not calling him Scorpion making him less cool? Hanzo Hasashi is far cooler than he has ever been in any other game before. In past games, Scorpion was literally just an angry guy who used fire and acted like an idiot. Now he actually has a personality, and a face, and a legacy, and you're trying to say he's less cool? Get the fuck out of here.
And Quan Chi died just like he lived in this game. A bitch.
Alright, now I know some people did like Quan Chi, but 90% of players definitely wanted to see him dead, and cheered their asses off when this scene happened, because Scorpion finally got revenge on the guy who actually killed his clan.
There will be no surprises from you, Mr. Cage. Bring him.
Johnny Cage becomes the MacGuffin.
Alright, this scene is kind of a sin. Not for the reasons he mentioned, but because Shinnok could easily just kill Johnny Cage right here, and then there wouldn't be any surprises.
Praise be to Lord Shinnok.
Liu Kang does not say this in his preacher voice. It should be like, Praise be to Lord Shinnok.
Wait, why? Why would he say that? What the fuck, is that improv? Are you doing improv right now? Just stop.
There is an Earthrealm force in Netherrealm.
I am aware. They will be neutralized.
And they will never be neutralized.
That's a fair point. But remember this, villains are always destroyed by their own hubris.
Mortal Kombat Commandment number 9. Thou shalt not show thy lame characters such as Boraicho.
Then you must be really pissed off that he's in Combat Pack number 2, because you're going to be seeing a lot more of him, my friend. And I, for one, am happy for it.
By the way, if any of you are wondering why we hate Boraicho so much, it's because of this. Now, you may think it's funny, but we think it's one of the dumbest fatalities ever created. In our eyes, he is not a redeemable character.
You think that's one of the dumbest fatalities ever seen? Holy crap, did you just omit the Quan Chi neck stretch?
Oh hey, Raiden, I almost forgot you were in this game.
Well, that's an immature reason to give out a sin.
Kung Lao and Liu Kang, they were like suns. I would move the heavens to bring them back to the light.
Really, Raiden? You would move the heavens to bring them back to the light? You are a god!
He is a thunder god, not an angel of death or a resurrection god. You see how that works?
Ah, finally, the real heroes of Mortal Kombat, making their cameo appearance in their original form.
Alright, you seem happy about that, yet you give them a sin. Who the hell is pushing that sin button? Tell them to fucking quit. Their trigger finger is pissing me off.
Oh, fuck you, game. Fuck you, trying to retcon D'Vorah into this timeline even though she was never seen, heard, or mentioned in this timeline.
Once again, stealing from two best friends. You better apologize, my good sir, or I'm telling on you.
Tarkatans are eaten so easily.
See, even D'Vorah recognizes the Tarkatan's jobber status.
How is that a sin when she agreed with you? You know what? Forget it.
Remember, Baraka is a fully functional character, yet he is not a playable character. Blame it on the... You know what? Fuck them.
You know what? Fuck you. You are completely ignorant to how video games work and how they function. As I stated before, none of these characters are fully playable or fully functional. You're just an idiot. A respectable idiot, but still an idiot.
Yes, thank you. See, people, even NetherRealm themselves recognize what a terrible character Bull Show is. I will go ahead and add a like for this.
You're gonna regret that later on, my good sir.
I would not boast of victory prematurely.
I have already won, Raiden.
I'm sorry, Raiden, but he's right. Shinnok has won. Bullshit circumstances are the reason why the rest of story mode exists.
My good man, I think you underestimate how thick Raiden's plot armor truly is. He can escape any situation unharmed, with the exception of Mortal Kombat Deception, where he did in fact die.
Smoke does the wobbly H.
How is that a sin? You didn't laugh at that? I laughed at it.
Vomit cocoon.
I laughed at that part too. How the hell is it a sin?
Elder God period blood.
Wait, what? What? Are we serious right now? Are you just trying to add sins on the board now for no real reason? That's absurdly wrong of you. You're abusing your power as a gaming sins commentator.
We interrupt this Mortal Kombat game to bring you a segment of Doom, which at this point sounds like a much better choice to be playing.
I wouldn't say Doom. I'd say Diablo. That being said, I love this form of Shinnok. It is much more terrifying than his human form, and a fitting successor to Shao Kahn, in my honest opinion.
Yes. Tremble before me, Elder Gods, as I absorb Earthrealm's power.
Speaking of the Elder Gods, where the hell are they this entire time? Elder Gods. Further proof that they are garbage tier.
Elder Gods literally can't do shit. They just enforce the rules of Mortal Kombat. And since there is no real Mortal Kombat tournament in this entire game, what did you expect them to do?
That shockwave fried the leads.
Then let's get going. We're almost out of time.
This is one of the most convenient timings in the history of convenient timings.
Convenient for who? The bad guys? I'm pretty sure that Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, Takeda, and Kung Jin could have all done without this encounter.
Bring them to me!
Or not.
The woods. Come on.
How? How did you manage to lose them? You were literally right there.
I agree, that cut was pretty weird. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. I didn't want them to get captured, and I do enjoy the following cutscene, but it is never explained how they escaped.
You know those bullshit circumstances that I mentioned earlier? Bear witness to one of many of them. You cannot convince me that this Teen Titan group can take down Kotal Khan, Ermac, Reptile, Aaron Black, and Ferrator, and Kotal Khan's army. Get out of here.
I'm convinced they could beat Kotal Khan's army, and Ferrator, and maybe Aaron Black. Despite being very, very cool looking, Aaron Black is actually quite a pushover in the comic books and in this game. It's also nighttime, so Kotal Khan would also be a pushover. As for Reptile, he is also kind of a jobber in this universe. Honestly, them winning is a bit of a stretch, but not completely unfounded.
I am not Reptile in this shot.
Once again, sir, you have proven to me that you are a very, very horny man, who also has some jungle fever, which I can relate to. I get it too from time to time.
Stop! You need water.
Water? He needs water to heal an acid spit to the eyes. You know the worst thing? It actually works.
That moment actually did piss me off. I wanted Takeda to become blind like his dad. That would have been fucking awesome as hell. But no, he gets rescued by water. Quick, use the element that brings life.
Here's another example of bullshit circumstances. Enjoy it!
Okay, seriously, I love this shot. Look how good it looks. The visual narrative here is absolutely astonishing. Look at the camera placement. Look at the rule of thirds. Look at the cutting and the sequencing and the editing and the lighting. It's all so good, and the pacing is just beautiful. Oh, and the build-up here is so great. Look at this. Look at the tension they're building up with these shots. It's so good. Who'd they hire for this?
And another.
Wait, how is that bullshit? Weren't you praising Ermac earlier?
And another.
Squeeze, squeeze, Tor! Your eyes, so bright. Gonna carve them out! Trickery! Deceit!
How is that a bullshit circumstance? She used one of her actual abilities to escape, an ability she has in the actual game.
Shinnok's been freed. He's at Raiden's Sky Temple. He's already infected Earthrealm's life force.
The heavens boil.
No, duh. You didn't notice the blood red sky that's been hovering above you for the past 10 minutes?
I gotta give him credit here, Kotal-Khan. How did you not look up, or at the very least, notice that everybody is being bathed in a red light?
And yet another bullshit circumstance. Let's see how much time Kotal-Khan's army wastes when they could have easily killed these guys.
Alright, now I do have to agree with him a little bit here. They should all be dead in a matter of seconds, but once again, understand the alternative. If this commentator had his way, then the credits would roll and every good guy would be killed right here and now. Would you prefer that? Would you honestly prefer that? Would you prefer they kill the Special Forces team right here? Or would you rather have a satisfying ending where the good guys prevail? It's a bit cliche, I know, but it's a Mortal Kombat game. Plus, there have been Mortal Kombat games that end with the bad guys winning. Spoiler alert, they are not satisfying at all and deeply disappointing. Would you prefer that? I don't think so.
So, do it already. I mean, for crying out loud, why doesn't Black just shoot all of them? Bam, 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 bam. Game over.
Why do you keep insisting that bullets are fatal in this universe? You've played the game, right? Bullets just do a little bit of damage, less than 10%. They're not fatal. Get over it. It's fictional.
Saving our heroes in the nick of time cliche.
I agree, it is a cliche, but once again, would you prefer they all die? I don't think so, so get over it. Plus, I will take any excuse for a Sub-Zero cameo. He's my boy.
You stood together against formidable odds. Lesser warriors would not have fared so well.
Inspirational speech in the middle of a brawl.
To be fair, the Lin Kuei kinda have it covered. The Special Forces are in no danger during this conversation.
Proceed to the Sky Temple. Earthrealm's fate lies with you.
Okay, Sub-Zero, let's take a look at this situation really quick, shall we? These four, whose asses you kicked at the beginning of this game, single-handedly, who would all be dead right now had you not interfered. And you're gonna leave the fate of Earthrealm to them. Hashtag Mortal Kombat logic.
Did you really just say that Sub-Zero beat them all single-handedly for a third time? Once again, need I remind you, and everyone else, that there was 30+ Lin Kuei members who they were also fighting at the same time. Lin Kuei members who were trained by Sub-Zero in this timeline. They are not jobbers, they are very, very tough. It's a pretty impressive feat.
Has your mother ever told you what I did to her friends? Kill them all in the blink of an eye.
Hey, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth, people. And yet she ends up getting her ass kicked by Cassie Cage. What was that we said about power levels earlier?
Alrighty, dogs. Remember earlier when I hinted at this part in the future? Sindel no longer has Shang Tsung's soul inside of her body, meaning she is no longer that powerful. Keep in mind that Shang Tsung has over 1,000 souls inside of his body and has only been beaten by one person ever in Mortal Kombat, and that's Liu Kang. And that motherfucker beat Shao Kahn. So Shang Tsung is pretty fucking tough, and he's no longer in Sindel's body, so she's no longer that strong.
Hey, Takeda, you know you have mechanical whips, right? Those mechanical whips can lift you up? Nope. Okay.
As much as I hate to do it, I have got to agree with him here. He is 100% right.
You're the bug, I'm the windshield.
Okay, I have heard some pretty terrible dialogue throughout Mortal Kombat history. That's gotta rank up as one of the worst.
Alright, come on now. It made me giggle a little bit. That being said, I can respect your opinion.
Look, Takeda and Jackie are cool, but nobody can deny the absurdity of this scene. Liu Kang and Kung Lao are two of the most powerful combatants in Mortal Kombat history, and she's taking them on by herself, along with Smoke. Sindel wiped out half the cast of the last game, and she's barely able to hold her own against Takeda, along with Katana. And need I remind you, they both got injured. This is really reaching it. This is really reaching it.
Okay, I already explained how Sindel is not strong in this game. And may I also point out that neither Jackie or Takeda are winning in this fight. They are both getting their asses kicked. They're literally just surviving until Cassie Cage saves the day. They both literally just have their fingers crossed, praying they don't die.
Look, Cassie's cool and all, but just like Johnny Cage, the fact that this doesn't end in instant Shinnok victory is sinful as shit.
How is it a sin? You saw earlier, at the very start of the game, that Shinnok is a cocky, arrogant bastard who lets fights drag on for way too long. He could have easily killed Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade beforehand, but no, he decides, I'm gonna torture Sonya Blade, and then Johnny Cage is like, oh man, I'm gonna reach deep within and find a power I've never had before and save the day. And I want you to remember that, because it's going to happen again. It's called foreshadowing, and it's done very well.
This is what awaits those who defy me. Excruciating, exquisite death.
Classic villain cliche number 1, torturing their enemies instead of outright killing them, thus giving the hero time to make a comeback and save the day.
It is a cliche, I will give you that, but as I just stated earlier, they show this exact same thing at the start of the game.
Well, we have to commend NetherRealm on this one. They managed to create a boss character that's cheaper than Shao Kahn. You want to know the worst thing? Corrupted Shinnok isn't even that hard to beat. His moves are just OP as fuck.
How is he not hard to beat, but his moves are OP as fuck? I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all think about that for a second, because that statement does not make sense. If you don't think this boss is hard to beat, try fighting him on max difficulty. Maximilian did. It took him a lot of tries.
Well, we've reached an all-new low in Mortal Kombat history. Now, remember people, the developers actually thought this was okay. Cassie Cage, daughter of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade, is going to defeat the almighty powerful Elder God Shinnok at his maximum power. All because of that ha ha ha, Johnny Cage beat Shinnok at the beginning of the game, so it's only fitting that we end the game with Cassie Cage, his daughter, beating Shinnok as well. Ha ha ha! I have not seen a push this extreme since Roman Reigns headlined WrestleMania. And we all know how that turned out.
Alrighty now. I actually went over this in the past video, but I'll go ahead and reiterate it here, since I got nothing better to really do. The reason Cassie Cage beats Shinnok here is not because she's that powerful, it's because her shadow energy is like kryptonite to Shinnok, just like we saw earlier. Just like how Superman, a god, is defeated by Lex Luthor as long as he has kryptonite, even though Lex Luthor is a regular man.
It'll kill you! Must be cleansed. Hurry!
So, we're just gonna gloss over how easily they got Raiden out of Shinnok's skeletal hand? Okay.
I can go ahead and respectfully agree here, although I would not have preferred to see them slowly peel him out of the skeleton's hands. Just saying.
I am not Takeda in this scene.
He got jungle fever. He got jungle fever.
Is he alive?
Barely. I'll help him.
You're gonna help him? With what? Your staff bow powers?
That's a fair point. Outside of cradling him, I don't know what else Kung Jin can really do here.
Well, of course the special forces would show up after everything has already been settled.
Even though you would have still complained if they showed up during the fight, saying that it was Rescue Ex Machina or some bullshit like that.
As the new rulers of the Netherrealm, heed me. No longer will I simply defend Earthrealm. I will seek out and destroy all who threaten it.
See, I absolutely love this. Everything has come full circle. MK11, new guys are good guys are bad guys, and bad guys are worse guys. However, obvious setup for an obvious sequel is obvious.
Wait a minute. You just said you loved everything about this scene, and then gave it a sin? What the fuck is up?
And now, on to some non-story mode sins. MK1 tactics.
Alright, if you think this shit actually works, you're a moron. They are clearly doing this in training mode.
Some of the worst costumes are for the best variations, and some of the worst variations have the best costumes. For instance, why can't I wear Aaron Black's hat throughout all variations? Why the hell does Shinnok have his stupid bone hands in his necromancer variation?
That's an opinion, not a sin, and you are entitled to your opinion. However, some people do like the bone hands, and Aaron Black without his hat, myself included.
And speaking of variations, let's talk about special moves. How come certain characters who have iconic moves are only limited to one variation? For instance, how come Raiden only has his teleport in his displacer variation? What if I want to use it while I'm playing the Thunder of Storms variation? Garbage limitations are garbage.
Well, you see, it's a little thing called balancing the roster. I wouldn't expect you to understand, since you're a critic and not a game developer. but let me just go ahead and summarize it like this. If Raiden had access to all of his moves, he'd be overpowered. Simple as that.
Liu Kang is still not yelling his signature when doing his bicycle kick.
What? Yes, he does. Yes, he totally does.
And speaking of Liu Kang, let's talk about him and Kung Lao's default costume. Liu Kang and Kung Lao are canonically dead, so why do they have old versions of themselves as if they never died? Just as a what-if scenario? Amusement? Either way, it's a sin.
Wait a minute. It's a sin for them to have an extra outfit? How? And also, you are correct. The idea behind their outfits in this game is that they never actually died. It is a what-if scenario for the player. What's wrong with that? How is it a sin? The answer is, it's not, and you should be happy for an extra free costume.
Jump scares in the crypt, because why?
That's not a sin. It's fun. That being said, I do think it should be an option to turn them off. They do get annoying after a while.
Cassie Cage's Miley Cyrus haircut.
Once again, that is an opinion, not a sin.
23 years of Mortal Kombat, still no taunts.
I'm not against the idea of a taunt button. That being said, one does already exist. It's the left trigger which changes your stance. You can totally dance in place and teabag at the same time. That's how you taunt in Mortal Kombat X, my friend.
This is the closest thing to teabagging as you're gonna get in this game.
What do you mean the closest thing to teabagging? That is teabagging.
The inputs of some of the brutalities. Some of them are pathetically easy, some of them are unjustifiably stupid.
I agree. Some brutalities are way too hard to do.
The following fatalities are lame.
Once again, these are all opinions, but I will go ahead and agree or disagree. Alright, I agree. This fatality is pretty lame for this game's standards. However, back in the day, this actually would have been decent. Still, I don't like it in this game. Wait, you don't like this fatality? It's one of my favorites. It made me laugh my ass off the first time I saw it, and it shows Cassie Cage's personality very, very well. What's wrong with funny fatalities? The answer is nothing whatsoever. This fatality is kind of good for shock value. If you watch it at the ESL tournaments, people actually do freak out when they see it, so it's got some shock value. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. Alrighty, I'll go ahead and agree here. The fatality itself isn't that lame, but the fact that Sonya Blade is doing it makes no sense. She wouldn't wear somebody's head like a trophy. That is something Predator would do. Yeah, I agree here. This fatality is very underwhelming indeed. That being said, it does have some personality to it. Yeah, this fatality is also underwhelming. It starts off good, but then just ends kind of meh. Wait, you don't like this fatality? Why not? Do you lack a sense of humor? I think it's funny as shit. And I am okay with funny fatalities in this game. In fact, I praise and encourage them. Yeah, this fatality is not very good. This fatality is hilarious. Once again, it's just for comedic effect. Look at her, she's literally a tube of toothpaste. This fatality starts off really good and then ends disappointingly.
Here's Johnny.
It took 23 years for this fatality to come to fruition.
You know why it took that long? Because copyright claims last a long fucking time.
You want to know how to improve this fatality? As Black is walking towards his opponent, have him do some revolver ocelot trick shots. Kinda like this. Finish off the opponent as is, and then have him blow his opponent's brains out with the final shot.
I do agree. That would have been pretty damn cool.
And the worst sin of all? Some of the x-rays are better than the fatalities and brutalities combined.
That's not really a sin. I'm glad those x-rays exist. That being said, the fatalities could have been better for some characters. I agree there. Holy shit, that's the end? We made it! We did it! We survived! Alrighty dogs, thank you so much for watching, and thank you even more for your support and encouraging me to make this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. And while you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more videos, because we have content on this channel every single week. It is never a dull moment on UnderDawg Gaming. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.